Joe Biden's infrastructure plans have been delayed. Let's talk about what the delay is and some new information that we know regarding the infrastructure plan. And the easiest way to do this is by jumping over to our beautiful flowchart. And of course, while we transition, I may as well take the opportunity to say that you should get 2 free stocks with Webull. Deposit $100 with Webull, get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. And if you want to earn interest on cryptocurrency, go to metkevin.com/BF for BlockFi or metkevin.com/Voyager, and at all 3 of these websites, you'll be able to get some free money, up to $1,850 at Webull, metkevin.com/Webull, up to $250 for free at BlockFi, metkevin.com/BF, and $25 totally for free by signing up for a Voyager account at metkevin.com/Voyager. Check out the links down below. All right, folks, here's the flowchart. So what I've done is I put little flags by what things are different, and the most important thing to know about what's different is that Joe Biden is delaying the way we're going to be releasing the infrastructure package. So let's remove some of the notes here and mention this. We've got the infrastructure package already broken down into 3 parts. Part number 1 is the climate part. Then we've got the infrastructure part, and then we've got the social or human infrastructure part. These are the 3 main core parts of this infrastructure bill. The issue is, Biden has now announced that he is going to release his infrastructure plan on March 31st, that is Wednesday. However, he's only going to release one part of it. We're not 100% sure which part he's going to release, but it appears that he is going to release the actual physical infrastructure part now, and then later, or in about 2 weeks in the future, he'll be releasing the social infrastructure part. So in other words, he is dividing or delaying his full release of the infrastructure plan. Now, this could be a negotiation strategy because obviously Republicans are very keen on things like actual infrastructure, which might include things like roads, bridges, waterways, rails, charging stations, money, obviously, for, some of these aspects won't be super Republican friendly, but money for 5G infrastructure, broadband for rural access, great. Some of the things that are going to be contentious for Republicans in this already, $100 billion for low-income housing, $200 billion for housing infrastructure, a lot of this being green infrastructure. A lot of the climate derivatives are going to be a little bit causing chest palpitations for Republicans, like focusing on energy-efficient housing, 1 million affordable housing units. We've got a new Cash for Clunkers program that Chuck Schumer is pitching, basically providing cash for people to get rid of their clunkers, their older, less energy-efficient vehicles, and then using that money towards buying a new vehicle. Hundreds of billions of dollars towards high-growth industries like advancing battery and manufacturing tech. So all of these things are going to be very, very important. But again, Biden is going to be delaying his complete announcement of the bill. He's going to start with infrastructure. Possibly he'll talk about the climate portion as well, though Republicans don't love that part. And then in the future, he'll circle back somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks from now, maybe around the middle of April. That is when he'll actually announce the social infrastructure part, which would include trying to make the child tax credit either permanent or extend it through 2025, expand on childcare spending, school infrastructure, $100 billion for schools and education, universal pre-kindergarten, free community college, more Affordable Care Act subsidies, more money for underserved communities, specifically Black and brown communities. This is being called a racial justice portion of the bill, including free or reduced tuition at historically Black colleges and universities, training millions of dollars for training, or I should say billions of dollars for training millions of people in new tech jobs, right? These are, or energy-related jobs. These are all priorities. The big thing here, though, is delaying the way this package is going to get released. So I'm guessing will probably be something like March 31st. This seems to be set, and then probably April 15th to April 20th for the second part. Now, here's the bummer about this. When Biden announced the stimulus package, he verbally announced it, but there was no written plan for like another month thereafter. We had the bill verbally announced around like January 20th, January 22nd, somewhere around there. The bill wasn't actually written until like the end of February. That's when the House wrote it and voted on it. And then the Senate had to get to it. So it took another 6 weeks thereafter. And so timing of this bill has also changed quite a bit. In fact, I would almost argue a lot. The latest quotes that we have are actually down here. Take a look at this. Right now, congressmen and women are actually expecting that it's possible that this bill might get revealed by May, fully revealed by May, but the goal is to get this done by, quote, fall, which could literally be August or September. Congress is thinking of getting this bill done by fall. So forget about this talk about maybe it'll get just, negotiated and passed in April and May. Forget about it. It doesn't even look like they're thinking about this summer for getting this done. It looks like an August, September, maybe more like September, October, because they're saying by fall. So maybe it'll be in the latter part of the summer. But if Congress is telling us by fall, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a winter thing. So I think this is just going to be a massive sort of project throughout this year. And honestly, getting excited about the infrastructure plan at this point might be a little bit premature, although we are going to be hearing about it a lot, and this is going to be a big part of the debate. I just hope, or debate in our time right now, or taking up a lot of time on TV, or media, or papers, or whatever. We're going to hear a lot about this as this gets debated. I just hope this doesn't turn into something where it's just like a heroes package where we get all this hopium and then it never happens, right? It's like an 1,800-page bill that just ends up being a waste of paper. We know some of the other things that we know are that so far there's been no mention of including student relief in here, so no student relief has been included in this. There have also been rumors of Republicans trying to convert Joe Manchin to be a Republican. I don't know why, but I get like these really eerie Age of Empires vibes from that. Like, the monk. Okay, sorry, I totally had to geek out on that. We have no idea how the parliamentarian is going to respond to this package. I mean, the Democrats believe they can slam dunk this through budget reconciliation, which only requires 50 votes plus Kamala Harris. But the parliamentarian last time nixed some things. Remember, they nixed the minimum wage. They nixed some things like Nancy Pelosi's railway and which or money for Chuck Schumer's bridge, which some of those are infrastructure related. So you kind of wonder, like, is the parliamentarian going to nix a bunch of stuff in this $3 to $4 trillion deal? Republicans are also calling this potential race bait, or are suggesting that Democrats should just drop the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and then they'll be on board with the rest of the plan. There's talk that we shouldn't be spending money on all this social infrastructure, that child poverty should be dealt with separately, not part of an infrastructure bill. To call it social infrastructure is really just a Trojan horse, as Mitch McConnell says. Democrats, on the other hand, say, hey, this is our last big opportunity maybe here to hitch our wagon and our pet projects and our priorities onto a really massive package with what almost feels like endless spending. Now, there are also other concerns. There are concerns that Republicans and even economists have expressed that, hey, look, what happens if you spend this $3 to $4 trillion, and all of a sudden that causes inflation and it causes interest rates to go up. Now it becomes more expensive for the U.S. government to service their debt. And we end up going into a crappy period of time where now interest rates are higher, debt payments are higher, and the economy actually grows slower rather than faster, which is the whole point of this bill. So then we also have concerns over the tax changes. So you've got centrist Democrats not sure that we want to see as many of the tax hikes that are included. We're even now hearing about potentially new tax hikes, like hikes in payroll taxes. And that's on top of, that's on top of hiking the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. Potentially this will get negotiated to 25% as a corporate tax rate. A tax on wealthy investors. It seems like a wealth tax is not happening here, but certainly raising the personal tax rate seems to be a priority here, raising that almost about 1.6% here. Possibly for anybody making more than $400,000, but maybe at the same time extending tax breaks to small businesses or other businesses. So we'll have to wait and see, but Biden's first big reveal is going to be on Wednesday, and then following the first big reveal on Wednesday, we'll have the full, apparently, reveal 2 to 3 weeks thereafter. But again, this plan's not even on the radar for passage until really fall, which when Congress says fall, just think end of the year. So it's going to be a while before there's another $4 trillion of printing, which, given inflation fears right now and all the drama we saw regarding the Suez Canal and hedge funds being a little shady again, maybe not such a horrible thing for some inflation fears to subside a little bit first. Maybe we hit the brakes a little bit on spending, let those inflation fears subside, and reevaluate to see how much inflation there was actually from stimulus packages, which certainly many of us are on the side that, hey, there has to be inflation, and there are equally many of us that say, no, there doesn't necessarily have to be inflation. So we'll just see what happens. I'm just sort of, from a neutral point of view, guessing that it would probably be easier for Biden to convince congressmen and women to pass a larger plan when we've been able to solidify that, okay, we didn't really see inflation from the big stimulus packages, which, 6 months from now should be easier to see. Who knows? We'll see. And if there's large inflation, then obviously maybe you hit the brakes, right? Anyway, we shall see, but that is the latest. Thank you so very much for watching. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing, sharing the video, get your 2 free stocks with Webull, get your $25 with Voyager, get your money with BlockFi. And folks, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.